Today I will be explaining the difference between a simile and a metaphor, two things that are often confused or used interchangeably when they're really not the same thing. They're similar but not the same. So here I have the Oxford Dictionary definitions for each one. For simile, it says, a figure of speech involving the comparison of one thing with another thing of a different kind, used to make a description more emphatic or vivid. Metaphor, a figure of speech in which a word or phrase is applied to an object or action to which it is not literally applicable. So you can see from the beginning of both definitions that they seem a little similar, and that's probably where the confusion comes from. But to make things more simple, the way I like to tell people is that similes make comparisons between things using the word as, like, or clearly stating that the two things are similar but not the same, as opposed to a metaphor, which does not make the distinction. It's more of a outright statement that's clearly not true or logical, but creates meaning. And so I have a few examples here to kind of get the point across of a few sayings that are either metaphors or similes, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys the difference right now. So she is as beautiful as an angel. The key word here is as an angel. Otherwise, you can often hear her say she's such a beautiful angel, something like that. So this would be a simile because it makes the distinction that the two things are similar but not the same. They just hold similar properties or are used in a similar fashion. So the next one is, the wolf was like a bullet shooting through the forest. Here we have like a, I don't know if the A is that important, but like. So again, we have a keyword here that signifies that there's a connection between the two things, the wolf and the bullet, but the wolf is not a bullet here. Clearly, it's just a way to add vivid storytelling or description. And the next one, so this would be a simile as well. The next one is, it's raining cats and dogs. And that's a pretty popular, I would say fairly old metaphor. And this one is a metaphor because it doesn't say the rain was like cats and dogs, or where the raindrops were as big as cats and dogs. It's implying that the rain was really heavy because of the imagery that you get, cats and dogs falling from the air. I mean, that's, I would say, fairly popular and ubiquitous throughout the world. This would be a metaphor. Sorry, I apologize for my chicken scratch. And the next one is, he is a shining star. This again will be a metaphor because this cannot literally be the case because people are not stars. We can't even live in space or breathe in space. So it is a metaphor because you're getting the imagery across, or the meaning across, that he is a shining star. So he's either bright, or he's a symbol of hope or something, or a light in the darkness, something like that. I mean, usually it has to do with the person being, standing out from the crowd. So in the void of darkness, he is a shining star. So this again will be a metaphor. Or just remember to look for the keywords as, like. There's a few other ones that will pinpoint a simile being different from a metaphor. And usually metaphors, they're pretty straightforward. They're written literally, but they're not meant to be taken literally. It's a figure of speech, it's figurative language, figurative writing. I mean, very similar things. I mean, you like I said earlier in the definitions here, you could say she is a beautiful angel. That would make this simile into a metaphor because there's no comparison of the two, as like. It's just literally stating she is an angel. So you get the same meaning, but it's more I'm sorry, it's not more anything. It's a metaphor instead of a simile. So those are the two main things that I always feel that people get confused when they describe figurative language or they break down figurative writing. Is the difference between a simile and a metaphor. I sometimes hear the two used interchangeably for the same thing, which they are not, although they're very similar. So yeah.